Hello and welcome to another question and answer session brought to you by Path of the Just Ministry. Our question today is concerning the 144,000 and Ephraim and Judah. Question: Joshua and Caleb, are they the 144,000? Does Ephraim represent the majority in Adventism that die in the wilderness, and Caleb and Joshua symbolize Judah? Well, I want you to remember that when we look at Ephraim, according to Numbers 13, Joshua actually comes from the tribe of Ephraim, and Caleb comes from Judah. So no, Ephraim does not represent the majority in Adventism that will die in the wilderness, and Joshua and Caleb represent Judah. Remember, Ephraim and Judah, there are two houses, and in each house there's two classes represented. There is faithful and unfaithful in Ephraim, the conference, and then there's faithful and unfaithful in Judah, which is the self-supporting workers. But the church triumphant is going to compose the faithful of Ephraim and also the loyal that are found in Judah, and they're going to come together and actually be one, and they will no longer be divided or separated through rebellion, through apostasy, through disobedience. Notice this statement. Couple of statements from the Spirit of Prophecy. This is Review and Herald, March 19th, 1895, paragraph 17. Trials are to come upon God's people, and the tares are to be separated from the wheat, but let not Ephraim envy Judah anymore, and Judah will no more vex Ephraim. Kind, tender, compassionate words will flow out from sanctified hearts and lips. It is essential that we be united, and if we all seek the meekness and lowliness of Christ, we shall have the mind of Christ. There will be unity of spirit. Now, what are the trials that are going to separate the chaff from the wheat? This is Testimonies to the Church, Volume 5, page 81, paragraph 1. The time is not far distant when the test will come to every soul. The mark of the beast will be urged upon us. Those who have step by step yielded to worldly demands and conformed to worldly customs will not find it a hard matter to yield to the powers that be, rather than subject themselves to derision, insult, threatened imprisonment, and death. The contest is between the commandments of God and the commandments of men. In this time, the gold will be separated from the dross in the church. True godliness will be clearly distinguished from the appearance and tinsel of it. Many a star that we have admired for its brilliancy will then go out in darkness. Chaff like a cloud will be borne away on the wind, even from places where we see only floors of rich wheat. All who assume the ornaments of the sanctuary but are not clothed with Christ's righteousness will appear in the shame of their own nakedness. So the fiery trial that's going to separate the wheat from the tare, and she also connects this with Ephraim and Judah, is the Sunday law test, the mark of the beast crisis. Review and Herald, January 3rd, 1899, paragraph 18. The cross of Christ is the pledge of our fellowship and union. The time must come when the watchmen shall see eye to eye, when the trumpet shall give a certain sound, when Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim anymore. Isaiah chapter 11, verses 12 to 14. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, Judah shall not vex Ephraim, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon, or the children of Ammon, shall obey them. So once Ephraim and Judah, the true watchmen, are unified as one, then they're going to lay their hand on Edom, Moab, and Ammon, and they're going to obey them. Now, Edom, Moab, and Ammon represents God's people that are found in modern Babylon, in the communion of spiritualism, Catholicism, and apostate Protestantism. Daniel 11, verse 41 says, He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab and the chief of the children of Ammon. And you want to also keep in mind that in the history of King Josiah and as well as Hezekiah, before the king of Assyria or the king of Babylon invaded those lands, God's people, Ephraim and Judah, were fully and united in one accord, one in faith, one in doctrine, one in charity. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31 to 34 says, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. God is making a covenant with the house of Israel, Ephraim, and the house of Judah. But when the covenant is made and the law is in their mind and their hearts, and their sin is forgiven and iniquities remembered no more, then we find that God is making a covenant with the house of Israel, meaning the house of overcomers. They will be one. They will no longer be divided into two nations or into two kingdoms, but they will actually be one. So does Ephraim represent the majority in Adventism that die in the wilderness? No. Will there be some in Ephraim that will die in the wilderness? Yes, but there's going to be a remnant that are loyal that will come out from Ephraim, as well as in Judah, and they're going to come together at the Sunday law, and they will be one, and then they will be used to proclaim the loud cry of the third angel's message and bring Edom, Moab, and Ammon into the glorious holy mountain. We do hope that this has helped to answer your question, and as always, may your eyes be enlightened as you taste a little of this honey.